Now, next week, millions of people across the world will pause to remember the 80th anniversary of D-Day. On June the 6th, 1944, Allied forces stormed the beaches of northern France in a bid to retake occupied Europe from the Nazis.
And ahead of the anniversary, our reporter John Maguire has been to meet two Royal Navy WRENs who helped to plan the D-Day landings, including Christian Lamb, who created maps to be used by landing crafts. Now, at the age of 103, she's been to see that land for the very first time.
She spent countless hours scrutinising every inch of this coastline. But today, after 80 years, Christian Lamb is seeing it for herself for the very first time.
It looks absolutely wonderful, so clear and so blue, and it's so attractive. I don't suppose it looked like that then, really. One was very worried about it and expecting ghastly things to happen. Must have been armour in sight of all kinds.
Christian is fast approaching her 104th birthday. But in 1944, as preparations for the Allied invasion of Normandy ramped up, she was a young WREN in the Royal Navy, based in Whitehall, creating maps to be used by landing craft.
Are these what I'm supposed to have made?
These are the maps you made.
Amazing.
After seeing Christian's story, Ian Beaumont was reminded of a map stored in his attic that his father Brian had used on D-Day. He sent it to us. A 19-year-old Royal Marine, Brian was the coxswain of a landing craft. There's no way of telling which section of coastline Christine worked on. This is Sword Beach, one of the British invasion sites. So at Pegasus Bridge Memorial Museum in Normandy, we're showing her the map, and she's never seen one before. This will have saved lives.
I hope so. There will have been so many lives lost, but perhaps one or two saved.
I'm sure more than that.
And you think of how young they all were too. And also brave, so desperately keen to win and make a real battle.
And you were saying, especially as you had lived in France at the beginning of the war, it was important to you to play a part in liberating France.
In giving back France to the French.
It was certainly during the war.
OK.
And we were visiting a submarine.
Joining Christian on the trip is Pat Owtram, also a former WREN. As a German speaker, her job was to eavesdrop on the enemy navy.
I really wouldn't have wanted to miss that chapter in my life because I happen to know German and I could intercept and listen to their messages, and as one of my friends said, listen to what they intend to do and then stop them doing it. So I was lucky.
Although secrecy was their watchword, and neither were aware of exactly when the invasion would begin, both believed what they were doing, the part they played, was absolutely vital to the war effort.
My younger sister and I were only worried the war might finish before we started being really useful, but it didn't.
No.
Went on.
You did your bit.
We did. Well, we had, our father was a prisoner of war in the Far East, so, you know, the great thing for our family was to get him back, and we did.
Wherever they go, Pat and Christian are fated by the French people they meet. Even among those several generations on from 1944. They've been brought to Normandy by volunteers from the Taxi Charity for Military Veterans. A busy schedule includes a visit to a school where they're given a rapturous reception. Their history teacher dressed appropriately for the occasion.
Why did you go to war when you were so young?
And to the delight of the children, their questions, asked in English, are answered in French.
Ma grand-mère a parlé très bien français.
These are really unforgettable memories for them. This is something concrete, and we are so lucky to be able to share this kind of moments. This is very different from learning history in a book or, I don't know, on a screen. So they are always very, very touched and open-hearted, and something means a lot to them.
That's a lovely surprise. Yeah.
They came here both to visit the beaches and towns their top-secret work had helped to liberate, and to meet the people 80 years on whose freedom was secured and who are eternally grateful. John Maguire, BBC News, Normandy.
Well, isn't that special?
So amazing. What a trip that is. What an experience to be able to follow those journeys on breakfast as well. And there'll be more of that over the course of the next week or so as we head to the commemorations next week, middle of next week.
And we should say a very big thank you to the taxi charity for military veterans who were responsible for organising all of that, getting them there. So well done to everybody involved.
Fantastic. Good job. Right.